Welcome to the beginning of the episode, recorded on the now normal Monday nights. We have nothing to talk about because it's only Monday, so we're going to use the questions that we got from last week that we didn't get to launch this episode. Plus, Mike has an emailed question about an ancient episode from a long time ago. Plus, Mike and Chad both rejected my idea for this episode, so we'll just do their idea.
I don't think Chad had a chance to reject it. I think we went right into it here.
He would have, though. I know it. He's not a good neighbor.
Thank you for that title, by the way.
Today I was in line at Tim Hortons, and I have amended my coffee order because a coffee with 2 sugar is too confusing. So I've gone just to the straight black coffee because it gets fucked up too much. You end up with milk or cream. I fucking hate milk and cream in coffee. So I've gone to the straight black coffee.
Are you opposed to putting your own sugar in it? Like maybe you keep a couple packets in the truck.
I think I'm too lazy. I think that's a solid idea for someone who's not as lazy as me. I feel like that's a strong plan, except that I'm so fucking lazy. I drank the black coffee today. I thought, I don't know what the sugar was really doing for me. It still tastes like crap. So why was I inhaling all that sugar when the coffee still tastes the same crappiness that it did with sugar in it? So I felt like I'll just keep drinking it without sugar because it didn't seem to make any significant difference.
As the weather turns here, how many coffees do you guys have per day? Or
I'm still about 2.
2?
Standard.
Yeah.
Medium or large in the morning, and then I'll do a small around 10 o'clock.
Small.
Yeah. That's small.
I've concluded I can't. I mean, I was on the small, obviously, from the episodes in the spring. But then I think because I was turning 50, I tried to fight through that and go back to the medium just to recapture part of my youth so I could feel young and vibrant. But I realized when I turned 50 last week that I'm past the medium. And so today, I finally faced the harsh reality and just went with the small.
Wow.
And I know now that it was only a small glimpse of youth when I went back to the medium for a bit. But I just can't take it. So today, I just drink 1 coffee in the morning.
Interesting. No espressos for you guys or anything like that?
No way.
No
way. I'll be vibrating.
You know what I was thinking about? So we had this plain Jane Keurig coffee maker. And I used to have one of those things where you filled the little thing with your own coffee grounds because it's environmentally friendly. And man, every day when I made a coffee in that thing, and I had a big thing of Folgers coffee because it's cheap and I don't mind it. And I would take my spoonfuls of Folgers and I would put it in my little cup, and then I would put my little cup in the Keurig, and then I'd make my coffee, and then I would wash the little thing out. And it started my day knowing that I was saving the world. That even if I died going out the door, I knew I had saved the planet by using the reusable coffee thing. But then somewhere down the line, Kelly, who loves coffee, decided to get a really fancy coffee maker. And it does make good coffee, but my mug doesn't really fit under it right. And it just grinds the beans for you fresh. There's no Folgers thing. You don't put it into the little thing. You're not saving the planet. Well, I guess you are, but it doesn't seem like you are. So I just never been into this coffee maker because I used to religiously bring my own coffee to work every day when I felt like I was saving the planet. But then when we got the new coffee maker, I realized, and the new coffee maker was expensive. It was like $1,000.
Wow.
This is like a premier. It makes anything espresso. It does whatever you want because Kelly's theory was she works from home. She drinks a lot of coffee. She wanted really good coffee because she never leaves the house. Like she works in the office in the house all day. I felt like that was a legit expenditure for someone who lives. Anyways, the table have turned because I still I don't feel like I'm saving the planet anymore, even though there's an argument there's even less waste with this coffee maker because you don't even have the little recyclable thing that you put the coffee in. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. I never use it. My cup doesn't fit under it properly. And so today when I was buying coffee from Tim Hortons, because if I'm going to destroy the environment, I'm going whole hog with the wax coated cup. I'm not like, I want the real wax coated cup to destroy the environment. I started thinking to myself, for the last 3 months, Kelly doesn't even drink coffee anymore. She only drinks tea. Like, why the fuck do we still have this coffee maker? Because all she gets out of it is hot water. And I think she could do that even from the unfancy Keurig with the little thing that makes me feel good about myself and the Folgers. But all in all, Mike, I have 1 coffee a day, which went off on like, I don't know, 15 minutes of the coffee maker in my house.
Any hot chocolates during the day? White hot chocolates?
Ooh, if I'm really feeling wild on
Yeah.
a hot day, I'll take a cafe mocha.
On a hot day?
I mean, sorry, a cold day. Like,
okay.
Yeah, to warm myself up whenever it's minus something and I've had enough coffee, I'll take a cafe mocha.
Is that because it only has half the caffeine?
I suppose. A little sweet, because I don't put sugar in my coffee, right? So
Right.
that's all right.
You could go with a decaf.
Could go with a decaf, but then it wouldn't be sweet like the hot chocolate.
You could get sugar. Well, I don't recommend it because they really confuse the sugar issue. So maybe you're doing it the right way.
Maybe in Cornwall they don't confuse it. Maybe they got it down pat in Cornwall.
Are you saying that the people in Cornwall are more qualified to work at Tim Hortons than the people in Brooklyn?
I am not saying that, but
what do you got against Brooklyn, Mike?
Is Brooklyn the city, the area?
Well, there's Whitby, and then Brooklyn is north of Whitby.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's we work all over, Mike, not just in Kitchener. We expand past one neighborhood, baby.
We work all over too.
You guys want to hear something mind-boggling?
Sure.
A little wild, a little crazy. I was about to go to bed last night. I got a text from the bookkeeper who'd been on holidays for a week. We're getting double audited now.
What?
There's a separate audit in addition to the HST audit that's going down. She's like, did you get this notice? Like, what notice? She's like, we're being audited again for our vehicles this time. I'm like, okay, great. Can they both sit at the same table and go through the same paperwork? Like, do they not discuss this amongst themselves?
No.
In the giant CRA fucking beehive? Like,
no.
Do they not already have a program that says this guy's already being audited? Like,
did you vote for Trudeau?
What do you think?
I think you didn't. And it's been proven that the maritime provinces, because they vote Liberal, are getting carbon tax, but provinces that don't vote Liberal aren't. So, Chad, maybe, I'm not want to be a conspiracy theorist, but they know how you voted. And they're coming down on you.
They're coming down on me for that.
They're coming for you.
I don't know. But
so what's the difference in the two audits?
One's an HST audit, and one they want to know why we have so much vehicle expenses. And they want to know if people are taking the work trucks home, and they want to see logs and all this stuff. I'm like, we have one pickup truck. People aren't driving dump trucks home for the night. Like, that doesn't happen. So, anyway, the accountants or the bookkeeper says it's a little audit, which I don't know.
A little mini audit.
A mini audit or something. We're just checking in. We'll check in on someone else. I'm currently going through it.
This is what happens though. You get in the loop.
I don't. Yeah, I'm in their crosshairs.
You're part of the team.
Yeah. What team? How do I get off this team?
I don't know. I don't know how you get on it. The mystery is, how did you get on the team?
You guys are affiliated with me, at least in this sense. So
man.
I'm sure yours isn't far behind.
I invoiced you for trucking.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
I'm probably going to get fucking dragged down in this for one float move from Barrie to Cornwall. 500 fucking audits.
Why did you do this so cheap, Mike? Did you claim all your expenses for that? I think you claimed Did Darian claim all of his coffees? Because he's only allowed one per trip.
Technically, you're out of the 160 radius, and you should have filled out a logbook.
Yeah. So
Chad, you're dragging me down.
I'm dragging you all down.
I always felt like it would be the other way around. I'm not confident I would drag you guys down. Now I'm getting dragged into an audit by Chad.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
You
need a good bookkeeper.
Well, did they ask if you take the pickup truck home?
No, they haven't asked anything yet. They want the 10 biggest vehicle invoices, plus a list of vehicles that were purchased in 2021, a couple other things, all things that the bookkeeper has. Like, oh, this shouldn't be hard. We'll put it together. Okay, great. Let it fly.
What were the 10 biggest vehicle repairs you had?
I don't know. I don't have the paperwork for it. The bookkeeper does.
That would have been fun. Top 10?
Well, I'm sure like
top
5 of them
vehicle repairs.
5 of them are like fuel invoices. We spend like $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month in fuel or something. So would have to see that. Big repair bills. Shit like that. Just getting ready for safeties in the spring. That sort of thing.
So couldn't you keep your vehicle inspections as a logbook? Because that shows the kilometers.
Yeah, we do, right? Well, not from 2021. Those are all garbage. Like,
you're supposed to keep them 3 years or something.
Yeah. I didn't. What do you want me to say? Like, this is...
I don't know. I don't know how long you're supposed to keep them. We have we have them stacked up everywhere.
Yeah, like we're starting. Like, I bought binders. Once the papers are done, they're all going to go in the binder and they'll sit there and rot for... We'll find out how many years. I guess I'll have to ask them. I guess I'll get to ask them face to face. All the requirements, right?
Can we record it for an episode?
Yeah, that would be great.
I don't think they let you, because remember last time when I was going through my audit interview, they told me I couldn't record anything. Then I asked them if they were recording it, and they said no, but I'm taking notes. So maybe I can take notes. We can discuss the notes.
I wonder why you can't record it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think
that's something to do with Trudeau.
Maybe if you do it enough, you could become like an audit coach. I'm sure they don't want an audit coach around.
Yeah.
Audit guru.
Yeah, an audit guru.
It feels like they're going to say something. And they're going to say something, and then you're going to be able to use it in court and say, well, you said this and you said that or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they hold a big stick in this whole process, and I'm barehanded. So
yeah,
like it's just bend over and sort of take it.
It's not much you can do.
Not much you can do.
And hope you have the right bookkeeper.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Oh, it's great to put them to the test.
Yeah.
You're gonna know. Is this the right bookkeeper?
Yeah.
Wonder what's next. Probably a safety audit. They'll probably some one of these government safety associations will be asking for your health and safety policy and your violence in the workplace policy.
Oh, they're all posted. I just say, come to the yard, look at the board.
Yeah, that'll be the next audit you get. We used to get that audit a lot at Lake Ridge.
Really?
Is this a common thing to be audited in business?
Am I making? Because the problem is this is just, I guess, my personal theory from knowing people, but when you're under $1 million, no one gives a fuck about you. Because no matter what you're doing, it's not enough to justify the auditor's time. They couldn't possibly recoup enough of the money. And when you're over 5 million, you have so many people working for you and so many systems in place that it's fucking really hard to bust you. Because you have office administration and real tax accountants. But when you're in the spot between 1 million and 5 million, your business is growing and you're fucking jammed and you got one person doing too much. And
yeah, I can see that.
You're probably somewhere, and they just look for it. You're probably somewhere skirting the rules, not because you're a bad person or you want to, but because it's just overwhelming and you can't keep up with the government regulations.
I'm the low-hanging fruit.
You are the low hanging. This is just my personal theory. This isn't something someone told me. It's just from,
that's a smart idea. Yeah, that's a smart. It makes sense to me, at least.
Well, it is true though. Like it's like all of us that are trying to grow our businesses, or everyone is struggling, and there's no. I can tell you right now, I guarantee there's some regulation we're not doing. Not intentionally, but because I just don't know about it, or I don't have time, or I don't understand it, or whatever is going on. It's got nothing to do with me being a bad person or trying to cheat someone. It's just really hard to keep up with every single government regulation.
Yeah.
So you are Chad.
Yeah. Oh, that, you know how we were talking about something about $700 a day or something for having your employees? I looked into that. Yeah, we pay like I don't know, 15 grand a month source deductions for shit like that.
How many days do you work?
That's what that money was for. I just noticed like the bookkeeper takes like 15 grand out a month and puts it somewhere. I'm like,
for themselves.
No.
Let's say there's 20 working days in a month. So you're 750, Chad.
Well,
don't you hate the fact that I'm
like,
was your life not better when you didn't know that?
I don't know. It's another thing. I don't know how my business does what it does. I don't know how we're still afloat and thriving.
It's not from knowing your numbers.
Not from knowing my numbers.
If you weren't thriving, you wouldn't get audited.
That's
the truth.
So I'm better off to be barely skirting by.
Yeah, then they don't care. Because again, you don't have any money for them to get.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
I know people who are tanking massive businesses that have never been fucking audited.
Yeah, what's up with that? Like, why?
I'm just saying, because they're failing, so they don't care. They care about you because you're thriving, and they're like, why is this guy so successful? Everything we do in this country is trying to make him fail.
Yeah. You're not wrong there. Like,
we're jacking up the cost of diesel. We're fucking with this guy at every turn, and he's paying $750 a day in source deductions, and this motherfucker is still getting by. How is that possibly happening? That's what they want to know.
That's a good point.
They need a guru.
You know what I think might have happened?
What?
These two auditors, or one auditor, decided to get a pool. They hired someone out of Michigan. They came up to Canada, fucked the fucking pool up completely. And now this auditor is just taking it out on every landscaper across the planet.
Or this auditor is from Cornwall and wanted a pool and tried to call NDL, and NDL wouldn't pick up their phone.
Didn't answer the phone. So what you're telling me is I need a lawyer who's also a felon to defend me.
A 10x lawyer.
Do it. A 10x lawyer?
Yeah.
To defend my somehow 10x business that I never intended to be 10x. I never intended to be this successful. But here we are.
Oh, man.
Oh, well. I'll let you know how that saga goes.
At least you're not a subject of a Fox News recurring series.
Yeah.
And not just a one-time series.
It's great that they're still documenting that.
A recurring series. All that guy does all day is hunt down people who fuck people over, right? That guy on that Fox News.
Yeah.
All he does is hunt people down who fuck people over. That's his job. And you think that by now he would have found someone else that had been fucking people over. And he probably has. But he's looked at those people and said, they're they're still not fucking people over as this motherfucker is bad. So I better keep hounding this
And
dude
drilling this
while
guy.
while he fucking plays with his nipples. Or like,
Oh,
I'm just saying that for someone whose job it is to fuck with people, that guy is going back to the well on this guy. So it must have got great ratings, or he wouldn't go back to the well.
it must have. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it must have got big ratings. So otherwise he wouldn't go to the, maybe he'll go back to the well again too.
I
Maybe it's
bet.
because the guy's still out there working.
Yeah, but his academy shut down. The website no longer exists. So, but there's still landscaping going on. Yeah.
Academy is shut down, man. What's the questions, Mike, from last week, since we so rudely didn't get to them?
Ready for some questions, guys?
Yeah.
I'm always ready, you know.
So this isn't our worst hour, so maybe we'll start with some value here. This is a question that I got through an email, and it's a really good question. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. This is an installation question. And this goes back to that episode where we each priced out a walkway. And I'll not say this person's name because it's an email, not in our Instagram there. They want to know, specifically Paver King as well for this, but you mentioned on that episode that you've done projects where you'll do just like straight HPB as your base. So he asks, is there a way we could get him to talk about that installation process and what would it typically look like? Specifically also included in that would be like how you would do your edge restraint in that situation. I think that's most of the question there. Just like a walkthrough of that. And Chad, have you ever done, because I've done a few projects where I've done HPB as solely the base as well. Chad, have you ever done that?
Not on purpose. I've done installs where I'm pushing like 4 or 5 inches of the stuff.
Okay.
But never all the way to the bottom. It'll just turn out, oh, I got a lot of chip here, and I don't want to make another quarry run. Let's just fill it all with chip. You know, I mean, there are worse things you could put, I suppose, right? So I justify it to myself at least.
I don't even think it's bad.
I did this as early as last year. One of my most recent ones.
This is why I don't do installation shit.
Yeah.
Of all my thousands of videos online, well, actually, I peaked 4,001 posts on Instagram alone. That's without stories. So with stories, I'm probably like another 3,000 or 4,000. So in let's say somewhere under 8,000 posts, I don't think you guys have probably ever seen me talk about how I install Pavers.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I just don't like the debate of it. You have to do what works for your company.
I actually know like a handful of
it.
people that do HPB solely as their base.
Oh, I'm happy to run through it. Whatever. If someone asks a question, I'll tell them exactly how we do it. But
and then there's a follow-up question to this, which is why like this is just the starting point, because I think they have a project that they're working on that maybe they're assuming that it might be a good situation to do it, but they want to know like your installation process on
that. So is it a patio? What are we talking about? Patio?
I would assume pedestrian traffic.
Walkway.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's to a patio, so we would excavate 12 inches. And then we put, right now we use the Alliance Gator GF5 woven geotextile. And we encapsulate the excavation, sheeting it to the direction that the water would be running. And then we would fill it up with HPB and compact it and then screed it and then fucking lay it.
And then edge restraint, would you still use concrete?
Oh, so we always do a 6-inch over dig before everyone fucking loses shit on me. Like, it's so much stuff to it, and there's so many guys that are good at preaching it. That's why I don't preach it, because I don't need to. Like, the world does not need another hardscape preacher of how to fucking install shit. It just doesn't need it. So there's so many other. Anyways, so we do a 6-inch overdig always, 12 inches deep for pedestrian traffic, which really that makes the base 9 inches because the pavers themselves are usually somewhere between 2.5 and 3. So it's not a true 12-inch base because people are saying, I put in a 12-inch base, man. I'm like, well, you dug a 12-inch fucking hole. Digging a 12-inch hole is not putting in 12 inches of base. Digging a 12-inch hole is putting in approximately 9.5 to 9 inches of base. Right?
Yeah.
Can we all agree on that? Or
correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Because most people will say they're doing 12 inches of base when they're really fucking doing 9.5. But the hole is 12. Anyways, we do a 6-inch overdig, and then we used to do for years we did aluminum edge restraint reversed. So it would be reversed so that the spikes were we used to buy this edge restraint with a little dimple in it. So we would put it out, and then the pavers would sit on top of the edge restraint with it reversed so that the spike was under the pavers. So it would keep it from pushing and there would be no lateral shift. And that also kept the edging from popping up.
Right.
You know how the edging always pops up. So we did the reversed aluminum edging like that for I don't know, I probably did it that way for 20 years. Maybe more. We were still doing it till maybe 3 years ago. We switched to Perma Edge. Just because I think it's a better system. And I looked into it and watched videos, and it's how I did it when we were a kid. Maybe it was like bringing back youthful memories, like a medium coffee. And so then we do the Perma Edge to the spec that Perma Edge puts out. You know, however you dig a little bit under there and you put it at, that's what we do now. We haven't found the need for all this running of geotextile under the pavers and having it sticking out and putting the fucking cement in it. And I don't know, all this shit that all these people do. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's the same as there's this huge push to create drainage in your
open graded base.
And I don't know, I've been doing like we used to do driveways of full HPB back in 2006. Like I've been doing this shit since 2006, 2005. Full HPB. There was no 3/4. I have never once, and I guess we do work in Ontario. It's not like I work everywhere, but never once in all that time have we ever had a problem. We've done it the same way. Geotextile, either 3/4 or HPB all the way. We have never once had a problem with water backing up in the base. Like I'm not saying don't put in drainage pipes. I'm just saying I look at that shit and I'm like, how much does all this shit fucking like? I mean, I guess I charge a lot, so I guess everyone's charging for it, but it just seems like I guess someone must have had a problem somewhere. Why would anyone have started doing it?
So I know a couple of people that have done sunken fire pits out of open graded base.
Totally different.
Yeah. Where it's filled up on them.
Yeah, but that's because they fucking didn't drain it properly to a French drain that was below the bottom of the fucking. And then you need to put a relief on the French drain so that when it does start to swell up, it swells out the top of it or out the side. Or that happens if you dig the bottom of your fire pit that's sunken, and then the bottom of your French drain isn't lower than the bottom of the fire pit. But that makes the hole in a backyard. Like if the fire pit's 3 feet down, bottom of the French drain has to be 3 feet at start.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to go down 3 feet before you even get to the top of the French drain. And then you need to go down another 10, 12 feet. If you calculate when we did that, we calculated the 100-year storm, the space inside the fire pit, and then doubled it, and then created that much volume in 3/4 clear in the French drain below grade when we did a sunken fire pit. Mm. And ours still backed up because the guy dumped the whole roof off into the fucking, the neighbor rerouted the fucking eaves troughs, and literally on the 80-year storm, not the 100-year, the water from the entire bungalow next door went into the fucking. So that's when we dug it back out and put a relief in so that next time it started to overflow, the water had somewhere to go. But anyways, that's how we do all HPB is with geotextile. Because really, it turns out to be 9 inches of HPB. We compact it, and then we compact it, then we screed it. We probably do like we probably do 6-inch layer, and then we do a 3-inch layer, and then we screed it. So we probably pack it twice, but only once around because I don't want to break up the pieces too much. Whole nother thing. I mean, there's lots of people who tell you don't need to pack it at all.
That's true.
It's contained inside the excavation by the geotextile. So I guess that would be up to you whether you compact it or not. That's how I would do it. And if someone wants to send me a long email about that, I'm cool with it. Or if you want to like publicly attack me on Instagram, also super cool with that. I really don't give a fuck about your opinion because I've been doing it for 35 years and I have almost no repairs. So that's what's actually important. It's like today when I posted the video of Cody picking up the bin and some guy, I don't know who he's been in business 45 years though.
45 years. Wow.
That's what it said. Commented that I wouldn't use those straps in that bin. And I'm like, okay, well, without knowing, jackass, those straps are like $200 each and they're weight rated to like 30,000 pounds or something. They're the biggest straps you can buy. They're on legally installed D-rings. And there's also an argument that when the machine is inside the bin, you don't even need fucking chains. So we're putting them in there for extra security. But because that person assumes that they're $10 straps from Princess Auto and that I've never looked into anything or know jack shit about anything, it's prime time to comment on Instagram and say, wouldn't go near DOT with that setup. Well, fucking great for you, you fucking idiot. Go be in business for 45 years somewhere else.
Maybe
fucking
he was just
moron.
trying to generate some traction on your post and get you to go
That's
viral.
true. That's not happening. So
there's a viral post idea. Buy a chintzy strap and put it on something and pretend like you're going to haul away with that.
So talking to a feather about how you didn't think it would work, but then it worked or something, and you lost $40,000 because the machine rolled out the back, and
these are viral ideas.
Yeah. I thought about that today when I was watching the shitty strap, like cutting most of the way, putting a machine in one of the old bins, and then because I know what happens when the strap snaps and the machine goes flying downwards. So I know what happens when that happens. So actually cutting a strap 3/4 of the way through and then pulling it up on the truck so it snaps and the machine goes hurtling into the back doors on video. I thought that might go viral.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
Should do one of those things where the machine flies out the back doors, but just as it's opening, you burst into that video of the Kool-Aid man busting through the wall. That'll get you to go viral, I think.
I had a post get to 300,000 views last week.
Nice.
It was those two dogs.
The 2 dogs.
It was the 2 dogs talking to each other.
Yeah.
And then we were pulling a truck out of the mud and said something about being the first truck to back in.
Yeah.
PK, you know that there's people who are big on YouTube that just set up a GoPro in their truck and drive around all day and just talk to the GoPro?
Yes.
That seems like a great way to you're driving in your truck all day, set up a GoPro, start a YouTube channel.
I don't know. What am I going to talk about?
You take calls from me asking about
aquatic
plants.
So how would you two guys do this big install of HPB? Like I'm bearing my soul so that I can get ripped apart. What are you two doing?
Take it away, Mike.
So I did one, like I said, beginning of this year or last year, some point, and it was contained on all sides. So it was up against a foundation. It was like a triangle area, just a small little thing against the pool. So it was contained against the concrete of the pool, against the retaining wall, and against the foundation of the house. So we didn't need edge restraint. And it was also, this client had problems with some sort of conduit that got hit by a stump grinder, and they were really concerned about it. So I said, I'm just going to do it with HPB. We're not too concerned with over compacting or compacting and breaking your conduit or anything like that. So it was a good, what I felt like, application. But the last time before that I've done that was when I was doing side jobs. So it was just like a nice, easy thing to do. When I was doing side jobs, I only had the weekend to do it. Just dump HPB and then start working on it. So those are my only applications.
But how deep did you dig? Did you put in a geotextile? Like, I had to go into this in-depth explanation, but you're just like, yeah, I used some HPV, man. It worked great. I didn't break the conduit, bro. Let's move on to Chad. This is not an in-depth description of how you did I thought that's what we were doing. Bare your soul, Mike. Bare your fucking soul for us.
So I do 8-inch
Watching
bases.
a lot of NYPD Blue, so I know how to fucking interview people now. You be careful. I am willing to get violent.
So I do 8-inch bases and then plus my 1-inch bedding layer plus the pavers. So whatever that works out to be. So when I'm doing an HPB full base, it works out to be about a 12-inch excavation, just like yours. With that, I also do. So if I go woven geotextile, I will use a biaxial geogrid halfway in the base at some point. And if I go non-woven geotextile, I go biaxial geogrid immediately on top of the geotextile. And it's arguable that geogrid doesn't do anything with HPB, but I still do it because I do it on all my projects anyways. So same thing. I do the depth of my excavation as far past the pavers that I excavate. So if I'm doing an 8-inch base, I'll go 8 inches past my pavers. And what else did you say? Over excavation, compaction of the subsoil, a possible amendment usually of the subsoil as well. So we'll compact 3/4 inch clear into our clay, our heavy clay. And if it's saturated, we'll also throw down some Portland cement. And yeah, if nowadays, if I'm going to do a full HPB base prep, it's got to be like the perfect application for it. Meaning there's something that we're trying to protect underneath, immediately underneath, and it's contained on all sides. So I don't have to worry about edge restraint. Chad?
Well, in my ideal scenario, so we're going to start out digging a 12-inch base with probably close to a foot on each side of overdig, just because I'm terrified of not being able to put a pathway or something where I want it, right? I just want to be able to, because I don't do a lot of measurement beforehand. I just dig it out and then put it where I want to after the fact. Which probably isn't the right way to do it, but whatever. Anyway, we dig it out, sprinkle clear over the sub base, hit it with the big packer, put down geogrid. No, sorry. Woven, the green line stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we use. So
woven.
Put down a woven. Then we do like 4 inches of 3/4 clear, pack that, choke it up with 3/8 clear for another couple inches, pack that. Then we put our 1/4 inch chip on top of that, pack that, grade that out finally, and then lay the pavers. Edge restraint is regular concrete. I've never had a failure with regular concrete, $5 a bag. Yeah, try and keep it low so that the grass grows over top. That's the biggest issue we've ever had with concrete edge restraint. Poly sand is whatever's at the yard, usually the one with the alligator or the other one there, Technoseal.
Seal Tech?
Something like that. Seal Tech, whatever it is. That's it. We heavily water that sand, either like really heavy, like she's sudsy on top. That seems to do all right. And that's it. For a while, we were taking our power broom and washing the top of the patio or the walkway with the power broom while it was soaking wet. That was pretty good. It sort of finishes it nicely. But that's it. There's no magic to this after doing it for probably installing for 15 years now, 15, 20 years, something like that. Just that's the ideal practice for it.
So, just as an aside, obviously all three of us are doing this differently. So
not too different.
You guys asked me about like we don't do a lot of just straight HPB anymore. Like I just said, I have done it, but now we generally do 3/4 clear,
right,
for 6 inches and then or 7 inches, and then we do 2 inches of HPB or whatever. Like, but that's how we generally do it now. I wouldn't be opposed to doing it out of all HPB, but it's just not how we usually do it. But being that all of us do it differently, how many repairs do you guys have?
My repairs lately has been glue based and pavers cracking based.
Repairs that are less than 5 years old, 1 or 2.
But what was you fixing? Were you fixing like a base failure, like the base sunk? It was a failure.
What about 9-year-old projects?
Well, we've done one of those, at least one of those repairs. And then I told you guys about the 5-year-old repair that we're doing coming up. It's just where obviously like the concrete stoop, obviously water sheds off the concrete stoop onto the interlock. So there's like a point where obviously the concrete sheds water, but the interlock absorbs a little bit of water, right? So there's a little bit of compromised base there that we have to go and fix. But for the most part, we're not fixing any monumental failures or anything like that. Like these are
so say you had a 2-year warranty period, and we're deleting all repairs that have anything to do with pavers that crack or glue, or I'm talking about strictly my base failed. There's a huge low spot in the patio. I got to lift it because it's holding water in the middle of the patio because of a massive base failure. How many of those have you fixed in the history of your business?
I haven't had that.
I've never fixed a patio that had a bowl in the middle or something like that.
That you built. So I have never had that kind of repair either. We just were interviewing to do a driveway in the spring, and the homeowner said to me, well, I got to see some projects that you did. I said, okay, I'll send you a list, whatever. This is where we're back to in fucking landscape sales.
Yep.
Fuck yeah. It's 1998 again. So I said, sure. And we gave him this address of this house, but I didn't really thought about it. We did the driveway in 2013.
Wow.
2014, somewhere around there. Maybe, I think it was 2013. I was like, oh, fuck. Should probably go look into that. The guy already has the address. So I drove to the house to check it out. And the driveways, I know because I've been to the house to do other projects and I know the owner pretty well. I know there's been 3 large vehicles, at least 3 Range Rovers on it the whole time since we did it. And then a Jaguar, a BMW, and a Lamborghini on it as well. All the time, constantly. So I went by there. The house is for sale now. I guess the guy's moving. And so there was nothing on it. And there was not one fucking divot in the whole driveway.
Nice.
Perfect.
Now, if I told you how we built the driveway, probably everyone would say, you don't know what you're fucking doing. You built a driveway like that. You fucking didn't do it. You're like, okay, man, sure, whatever. And this is why I don't discuss this shit online, because it's just a painful, stupid extravaganza of morons.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks that I had people come up to me. Actually, I bet I do have a whole bunch of posts about how we used to, maybe back in the day. Anyways, I've had a bunch of people. I've always come to me. How can you be friends with that person? Do you see how they install online? They're installing on limestone. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what they're doing. It has nothing to do with me. I was like, it's really bad for the whole business as a whole. Like, looking at this person who's saying to me, he said, you've had a company for 3 fucking years. What the fuck do you give about care? But fuck off.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. Like, I get it, but I think everyone should do. There's people that I'm really good friends with that do things I would never, ever fucking do. Likewise, they're probably looking at me going, I would never fucking do the way he does it. Doesn't mean both businesses can't be successful and have a great client base that are both really happy. You have to do what works for you.
Very true.
If installing 2x2 red patio stones on 14 inches of fucking straight limestone is what keeps your clients happy, fucking go for it. Won't get no grief from me. I love a good red. When I see those red patio stones go down the road, I know that's just happiness on a truck.
Yeah. One of my first big patios was those. You put 4 of them together, it makes the big circle.
And how much did those people love that patio?
She was happier than a pig in shit, that lady. I dug that out with my shovel. It was like a 14 by 20. Dug it out in the morning. Got some 5/8. Didn't even put stone dust down. Just screeded the 5/8.
Yeah. She fucking loved that bitch.
Fucking love that patio.
Still loves it now.
Awesome. Probably.
Oh, you're goddamn right. Nothing brings happiness like bright red patio stones. People who want bright red patio stones, those are people who are destined for true happiness. Because they got low expectations.
Yeah, that's the truth.
The only way to true happiness is to have crazily low expectations.
Yeah.
If you have crazily low expectations of everything, you will find happiness daily. This is actually good advice. We should probably get off topic to something else.
Is that your Caleb's corner?
Caleb's corner. I don't think he would agree with that. So I can't say that because I seriously doubt you would ever hear him say, set really, really low expectations to find true happiness. I feel like he's the opposite of that. No, I'm just saying that's like, I feel like that's me saying set really, really low expectations, find true happiness.
Okay.
Other people might say set really, really high goals and expectations, reach them and find true happiness.
Okay, so the second part of this question, because that first part wasn't let's try to get Paver King to spill his beans about his HPB installs. This was about, I think they're trying to look for some sort of solution to this problem, which is why they wanted to know how you go about your installation for it. So this is the second part. And I don't know how to go through this and make it condensed, so I'm just going to read it all really quick here. So on a current project they're on, they have a piece of conduit running through some portions of the project, as well as some older water lines. The electrical conduit they're confident about, but these older water lines they're worried about. So
like irrigation water lines, or like,
I think city, like
so they're 4 feet down?
Maybe not. I don't know. I couldn't tell you for sure. That's not in here.
Is this guy not in a freeze thaw zone?
I don't think so. No. I do not believe so.
Be nice.
So let me see here. Kind of look old. I understand based on some research that you should be able to embed the pipes in a few inches of clean washed stone. Yeah, working on is permeable. So underneath, you're going to do non-woven fabric. It doesn't seem like the best. On top of that, we plan on putting down 5-inch lifts of number 57 stone and compacting with a big vibratory plate compactor. But they're not confident about those water lines holding up to that sort of compaction. So what are some options that you guys would say for protecting any style of pipe underneath a base construction? And I think that they might be looking at, using just HPB straight as opposed to going open graded base.
If you have the room for
straight is open graded base.
Well, not the 3/4 inch, HPB on top of the 3/4 inch open graded base. You're right. Seriously? Like it is. it is open graded, but not what they're referring to as open graded.
So I would do one of two things in this situation. I would bring it up level with the pipes and then put like a layer of pink insulation over them. If you're really worried about the pipes taking a beating.
Yeah.
That's one way. Or I would just not dig that deep and use a synthetic base product.
Yeah.
So this is a vehicular traffic situation.
Oh.
I didn't add that. I'm adding that now.
Thanks. So you're worried about the packer beating the piss out of these water lines, but not the vehicular traffic? Is that the problem?
I'm guessing once they're buried, they're saying they're going to do it in 5-inch lifts. Like how many 5-inch lifts?
If it's not a freeze thaw cycle, it's probably 2.
So 10.
So I would protect the pipes. I've done that before where we protected pipes or wires or tree roots or whatever with pink insulation, like high density foam, because high density foam doesn't compact.
So would you use like a synthetic base product instead of the
Well, I think I would use that. There is a synthetic base product that's approved for vehicular traffic.
Yeah, I mean, like at the bottom of the base, so like screed out some HVB on top of those pipes, put that synthetic base down as some sort of guard.
I'm not saying use synthetic base. I said use pink insulation.
Gotcha.
Those are drastically different things.
Yes.
So just not to confuse. So one time we did a hot tub where we did an excavation, and then we did synthetic base, and then we put more 3/4 clear and compact it. Then we did synthetic base again. Then we did pavers and put the hot tub on it, and we put geogrid in it to disperse the weight of the hot tub. I don't remember why we did all that, but I remember doing it. There was some reason for it. I don't remember what it was. I don't know what it was. It might have been. I don't know why we were doing that, but we did do it. So I mean, I'm talking like pink insulation, like high density pink insulation. I put that over lots of stuff commercially and before we put pavers for many different reasons. Could have been a conduit bank, could have been something that they were worried about heaving. I've done it lots of times where we put pink insulation under stuff.
Gotcha.
So I would or you could just fill up the whole thing with HVB and then you don't have to compact, although it's vehicular. So I've done vehicular HVB applications as long as it's contained and can't go anywhere.
We're solving problems here, guys. This is
well, what would you do, Chad?
Well, you named everything, right? I would do the foam. Like we've foamed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because you've done commercial work where that's like a spec too, right?
That's it, yeah. It seems like the one thing that an engineer has gotten right in their career that hasn't translated to residential landscape is the use of like a high density foam.
That's what they build the highways on.
Oh, we built pyramids of those big blocks, foam blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike?
That sounds like a plan. I've never fallen into this problem before, but
if you're really worried about the pipes not being deep enough and you're not going to be able to get the paver over it, you could do like a porcelain tile instead of a traditional paver, like an 80 mil, right? That saves you a couple inches
I
there.
See. Yeah.
But I guess that's like a big stretch, right? Like,
yeah, or can you pour the driveway out of U-fill?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be a solution to the problem? Would be to pour it out of that porous U-fill cement, whatever they call it, where it's not U-fill, whatever they call it, that porous cement. Like you could easily excavate it, compact it, pour the U-fill, then screed it off and lay the pavers, and then you're essentially laying right on a concrete driveway, right? Concrete base. It's probably that also usually compares to the cost of doing gravel because you're not fucking around with it as much. Right? So that'd be another solution.
I never thought of this problem. Like, I suppose there are places in the world where water lines aren't 4 feet down. When's the last time you worried about a water line?
Never.
That's not a shut off.
Yeah.
Right? Like digging up here. Like
Smash
you don't even wait for the water locates to come in because you know you're okay.
You're not fucking that up?
Yeah, you're not fucking the water up. Never. Not here at least. But I wonder if it's like fiber optic lines. They just like part the sod and put the water line in.
But there is a driveway approved synthetic base product.
There is.
It's plastic.
I want to use it.
Well, so you make that your recommendation.
Do you guys remember when that whole system came out so that you could put pavers on a deck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
like a tray system, and I thought it was the greatest fucking thing, and I wanted to use it so bad. And then I realized, like, in order for the deck to support those pavers, you had to have like helical piles every 4 feet. I'm like, this is not economical at all. What the fuck was I thinking? And then
Did you build
no, I never built something like that. Like I think Block Tech was pumping the tires of that system for a whole showcase. This was years and years ago, and I'm like, cool, awesome, great. Maybe I'll find a spot to do it. And then I'm thought about it. I'm like, this does not work at all. Like,
it works. It's just expensive.
Well, I'm sure, yes, it works, but it's not the simple way to do it. That's for sure. So that's when I was young and
I remember
to do all these new things.
I remember when that got pushed hard. And it just seemed like a lot of extra work for something that people weren't asking for.
Yeah.
In all the years that I have been quoting stuff, no one had called me and said, I need pavers on my deck. Do you know how to solve that problem?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, someone had asked, and it had been a problem somewhere. I had just never encountered it. So it was hard for me to sell that system because I had never had anyone encounter that system. So
when I was doing side jobs, I did do one install on top of not that one you're referring to. It's like the silica grate things, but it was the that aluminum one. They were like what were they? Like L brackets almost, and then they just sat on top of each other. And then you just built the deck out of that, and then you put the pavers on top. I did one of those.
How was that?
It went fine. I personally wouldn't quote it and do it. I would just do like a raised patio, but this person was pretty adamant about doing it. And it was just like a side project that I was doing for them. So yeah, it went fine.
It went so fine. You did it how many times?
Just that one time.
Must have gone fucking great. It was probably the best thing I ever did. It was fine, man. It went really good. Never did it again.
It was fine. It's just there's better. I'm not a deck guy. I can't build a deck, so I don't get into that stuff.
Fuck decks. Fuck decks, even if they have pavers on them. Who needs them?
Who needs them?
You know what happens if you have a deck? You end up encountering your neighbors more. And then sooner or later you find someone that's a bad neighbor. That's what happens.
No, with the days being so short, you're gonna see a lot less of your neighbor.
Yeah.
Can't believe it was dark at 4:45 tonight.
You know, I always think early. That.
But it was also light at 6:30.
Yeah. Yeah. For now. Got another couple weeks of that, and then it'll still be dark at 6:30.
It will be. Goddamn right.
All right, you guys ready to go back to our questions that we get from Instagram? Not an install question.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel like the install question kind of brought the mood down a little bit here.
Really? I don't know. I thought it was all right. Just because I said I fucking hate this and don't want to do it. I don't know why that would have brought the mood down. Whatever. Anyways, I thought we were spouting out good information there. A lot of learning. A lot of learning just went on. A lot of learning.
And we didn't even charge for it.
We answered the questions. Well, I think that what we showed people is when they attend the what was it? The Hardscape Oppression Summit?
The Hardscape Incompetence course or something like that.
I don't know. The opposite of mastery, whatever that was. Hardscape Competence. Hardscape when they attend the Oppression Summit, that's what when they ask the hard-hitting questions, we will stand up and answer them. We'll open our books. As long as everyone signs a waiver.
Chad will open his books. No problem.
I will open my book. Which book? I'll open them all.
He'll open them all.
I'll open them all.
All right, Mike, bring on the goddamn questions.